And no. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining us today for our pre-arrival webinar for you as you prepare for your study abroad here at UC Berkeley. Let's begin with a little bit of introductions. Hi, my name is Amy Chin Porkrell. I'm the Assistant Director of Customer Relations and also an International Student Advisor at Berkeley International Office. Adrian?
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you. I work in UCEAP, Reciprocal Exchanges. I'm an international specialist. So if you need any help, you can contact UCEAP with questions.
And Amandeep?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amandeep Singh. I am the Assistant Director of Student Services for a really long-titled department, so I will keep it short and just call it Extended Education.
Great. All right. So just some housekeeping items. Just letting you know that this webinar today will be recorded. And if you have registered for it, you will receive an email with the slides and the recording as well once we are done today. So in terms of the agenda for today, I will go over who is University of California, Berkeley, who is Berkeley International Office, and what are the services that we will offer to you. We'll offer some housing options as well if you're still looking for housing. We'll go over campus resources for you as an international student. I'll give you some reminders in terms of travel information. And then we have a short Q&A at the end, which will be joined by another international student, and her name is Lily, and she will be speaking about her experience as an EAP student in the past and also herself as an international student now here at UC Berkeley. Okay, so the University of California, Berkeley, or Cal as we like to call it, was founded in 1868, and it is the first campus of the UC system. Today, we're proud to be ranked among the top 10 universities nationwide and as the #1 public university in the world. Berkeley offers more than 400 degree programs, and our community includes 60 Nobel laureates among alumni and faculty. Of course, you can't talk about Cal without mentioning Oski the bear, our beloved campus mascot who shows up at games, events, and all kinds of campus traditions. So a little bit about the international student population that you will be joining here at UC Berkeley. In fall of 2024, we have approximately 7,355 international students here with us. So out of that number, 44% are undergrad students, 52% are graduate students, and then the 4% are UCEAP students. So we have a larger number of international students coming for the UCEAP program in fall 2025. And so we had 268 students who had joined us. And out of that, 8 of them are continuing into spring, that number 135 are continuing from fall 2025 into spring 2026. In terms of the new incoming EAP students, 98 new incoming EAP students are joining us for spring 2026. So let me give you a brief overview of Berkeley International Office, or commonly known as BIO, here on campus. BIO is responsible for providing programs and services to all international students, scholars, and their dependents at UC Berkeley. Our mission is to ensure that every visiting student and scholar has a successful academic and personal experience during their time here. We provide advising on federal regulations, academic procedures, personal adjustments, career development, and we are here to support you in a variety of ways. BIO hosts the International Student Orientation. We also offer workshops and social programs and provide advising on matters related to personal and cultural adjustments, navigating campus resources, and visa or immigration issues. If you would like to speak with us about any of these, we are available for advising both in person and virtually over Zoom on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Our goal is to help you feel supported, informed, and connected throughout your time here at Berkeley. So if you'd like to speak with an advisor, go ahead and click on that link there. And it's on a drop-in basis. We do not have any appointments available. If you haven't had the chance yet, I strongly encourage that you explore our website. It's packed with helpful information on topics like applying for a visa, the documents that you'll need for travel, preparing for your entry into the United States. If you need to request for anything while you're here at Berkeley, we have request forms available for you as well as our contact information, events, campus, and community resources. Our website is also frequently updated to reflect the latest changes in travel and immigration guidance. So it's important to review it before you arrive into the United States to make sure that you have the most current information on hand with you. We are also active on social media, and it is a great way to stay connected with us. You can visit our website and click on any of the social media icons to follow us. By joining us online, you'll get quick updates, important announcements, and useful information throughout the year. Now let's talk about housing. If you haven't yet secured housing, now is the time to do so. We have a website dedicated to housing and it has a lot of resources on it. So let's go over the housing options available here at Berkeley. There are three main types of housing options to consider while you're at UC Berkeley. The first one is on-campus housing, second one is semi-on-campus housing, and then we have off-campus housing. Let's start with the on-campus housing. So on-campus housing offers a wide variety of options, although the general application deadline has already likely passed. However, you can still reach out to campus housing office to confirm whether they still have spaces available. And remember that the more flexible that you are with your housing preferences, the better your chances are at securing a space on campus. One specific option that I would like to point out is Bowles Hall. And as of yesterday, when I was checking their website, they are still accepting applications for spring 2026. And so if you're interested, please go ahead and email Professor Beggars or Nicholas to apply, and be sure to identify yourself as a UCEAP student to get the best assistance. Now moving on to semi-on-campus housing. This includes options such as co-ops, which are large shared resident units where students live together and share responsibilities. Every student is expected to help with household tasks such as cooking, cleaning, and managing the common areas. And in return, co-ops often have a lower rent than standard housing prices. They have provide also a great way to meet other students, build friendships, and be part of a supportive community. Another popular semi-on-campus housing option is the International House, or most commonly known as iHouse, and that is a dormitory-style residence open to both domestic and international students. It comes with a meal plan and hosts international programs and events throughout the year. As of yesterday as well, when I looked at their website, their applications are still open. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and submit an application. And last but not least, we have the off-campus housing. So options typically start opening up now as students prepare to graduate for the fall semester and are looking for others to fill in their spots. So if you look online, there are going to be lots of options available if you're looking for off-campus housing. I would highly recommend reviewing our housing page, which has tips and resources to help you find off-campus housing that fits your needs. All right, so as you are looking for housing, you may want to think about where you're looking for your housing. So let me give you a brief overview of Berkeley in terms of our location. So the north side of Berkeley, housing here is generally more expensive, but apartments and houses are nicer. This is a quieter area close to grocery stores, and it's home to more graduate students, especially students who are in the engineering or computer science majors, since most of the buildings are on this side of campus. Housing on the north side is more limited. It may be a little bit further away from campus. It's on the uphill as well. There are some buses that run through there, but not as frequently. Now compare that to the south side. There are a lot of housing on the south side. This is where a lot of the on-campus housing is located as well. This is also where the fraternity and sorority houses are. Housing on the south side tends to be cheaper, but quality can vary. So just make sure that you're doing your research with that. There are a wide variety of options and it's close to many shops and restaurants as well. It can get a little bit loud on the weekends, so just be mindful of that. Housing on the south side is also convenient because a lot of the bus lines run through here and you have convenient access to the BART station. So if you want to visit San Francisco, it's easy for you to hop on a bus and then go to BART and catch a train to downtown San Francisco if that's what you want to do. It is very student oriented, and so there are a lot of students who live on this site, and again, it can get noisy in the weekend, so be mindful of that. Housing on the south side is closer to a lot of the humanities buildings and classes. So if that's what your majors are, just be mindful of that as well. Now, last but not least is the west side of campus. The west side of campus is where the hub of the BART station is, which is our train station, and it's also downtown Berkeley. So obviously this is the main transportation hub. There are a lot of grocery stores as well, lots of shops as well. But because it's at downtown Berkeley, housing can be a little bit more expensive because of the convenience. There are housing options available maybe a little bit further out from downtown Berkeley, but right in the smack of the downtown Berkeley city itself, it may be limited. On the west side is slightly further from campus because it's on the lower end. So if you want to travel from downtown Berkeley up to campus, you're going to be walking uphill. So just be mindful of that. Berkeley International Office is located downtown here at Berkeley, right in front of the BART station. And so if you want to visit us, that's where we're located. So for those of you who are still looking for housing, here are some things to think about. Do you want to live on or off campus? And you have to decide if your preference is because of location or if it's because of housing prices. Secondly, do you want to have a meal plan? Do you prefer to cook for yourself, or do you want to eat at the dining hall instead and not worry about your meals? Do you want to live alone, or do you want to have roommates? Some of the other things to think about is where do you want to live, right? So I just went over the map with you. So what fits your lifestyle the best? How far do you want to commute to campus? Are you okay with taking the BART train, or are you okay with taking the bus? Or do you want one where you can just bicycle or walk to campus? Another thing to think about is your budget, right? So make sure that you're setting a realistic range for your rent and utilities as well to ensure that you have enough to pay for your rent on a monthly basis. And then also consider the proximity to your classes. So look at your enrollment, where you're going to be at, where are most of your classes, do you have labs? So make sure that you are budgeting that as well into your decision making so that you can save time and stress when you're looking for housing. So as you search for your housing options, please keep these things in mind. We all like to believe the best in people, but unfortunately, not everyone has good intentions. So please be cautious about housing scams. Scams can appear on websites such as Craigslist or Facebook, and a big red flag is when someone asks you to send money before you actually see the property for yourself. So if you're trying to secure housing before arriving, and if it's an off-campus housing, it's best that if you have a friend here at Berkeley who can tour the property for you, reach out to them to see if they're willing to do that for you. Otherwise, at the very least, if you're connecting with a landlord, request to at least have a video call with a landlord to confirm that the place is real. Even then, I would say it's safest to only put down a deposit or to pay after you've actually seen the place for yourself. Sadly, there have been cases where some students have arrived only to find that the property doesn't actually exist or is not even available. So make sure that you do not put any money down until you actually see the place for yourself. To avoid this, I would say use legitimate housing resources such as car rentals, which UC Berkeley has already vetted, and you can find off-campus housing there. Some of the other important reminders that I would like to mention is that every year students report that they are being targeted by scams, and scammers can be very aggressive and may try to intimidate you or create a sense of emergency. I would recommend reviewing our bioscam website to learn about the common tactics currently being used by scammers to intimidate students. Please remember that US government or law enforcement agencies will never call you to ask you for money or to demand for payment or to threaten you. They will also never ask for your personal information over the phone or online. If you are feeling pressured, or if you're not sure whether you have been victim of a scam call, or if you just have a call and someone has asked for your private information, you're not sure whether it's legitimate or not, please reach out to Bio for help so that we can try to assess that for you and to see whether that's a scam call or not. Again, please visit our scam website for awareness of scams and to read more about the common scams and how you can protect yourself. As you prepare to live in Berkeley, keep in mind that the cost of living at Berkeley is slightly higher compared to many other campuses in the United States. That being said, there are ways to manage your expenses and make sure that your stay here remains affordable. For example, you can eat out less, or you can take advantage of the many fresh produce available locally through farmers markets and rely on public transportation rather than driving. Parking in the Bay Area can be very expensive because space is limited. So with a little bit of planning, you can definitely enjoy your time here without overspending.
Thanks,
Adrian.
Amy.
Mhm.
Thank you. Let's take a look at the campus resources to support your study abroad. Campus life is a part of the UC experience. The campus is like a small city within the city of Berkeley, providing not only classes, food, and housing, but assistance with a variety of services to make your life better. Cal Central is your one-stop shop for administrative issues. The Career Center can help you to identify a campus job or internship. From the Gender Equity Center to the Disabled Students Program, our priority is to support you and make you feel welcome. The ultimate goal for us at UC is for you to be successful. Cal has a support structure for all students and specific resources for you as an international student. In addition to Amy and her colleagues in the Berkeley International Office, otherwise known as BIO, and Michelle, your UCAP advisor, there are many offices at Cal to help you. UC Berkeley offers a full range of academic support through the Student Learning Center, the library, and other support programs. We'll take a deeper dive into academic resources on the next slide. We encourage you to become a part of the Cal community by participating. By joining student organizations, volunteering, and taking on leadership roles, you will meet others, make lifelong friends, and enrich the environment for all Cal students. A key area is your health and wellness. It is very important that not only you study, but take care of yourself. Take advantage of the health center and counseling center located on campus and available to you with your student card. One of the best ways to stay healthy is to stay active and to take part in sports and activities. One of your challenges is that as a visiting student at Cal, you will remain a student at your home university as well. This means that you must be attentive to the rules and processes of not one, but two universities. To help you navigate in the Cal academic culture, you will have three main academic support offices. The first is the department advisors. In each department, there's an academic advising office. They can help you plan your studies. They will know which courses will be offered in coming terms, and they can help you understand the course content and tell you if you meet course requirements. Please also talk to the advisor to explain your study objectives. They may suggest courses that you had not yet discovered or thought about. Next is the instructors and professors. At UC, you should not hesitate to approach your instructors with questions. They have office hours, which are times reserved to meet with students, and they want to hear from you. Ask questions about the course content, readings, and what is expected of you as a student. Contact with your instructors can help you develop your research interests and focus your ideas. If grad school is an objective for you, this is a good time to cultivate relationships that will allow the professor to know you so that they can later provide you with letters of recommendation. Finally, it's the college advisor. Each college has its own academic policies, and the UC Berkeley colleges include the College of Engineering, the College of Environmental Design, the College of Chemistry, the Haas School of Business, the College of Natural Resources, the College of Data Science and Statistics, otherwise known as CDSS, and of course the largest college, the College of Letters and Sciences. The college staff can assist you with adding or dropping courses, which is canceling enrollment in a course. They can also connect you with support resources if you are struggling academically with your courses. Please note these important tips for academic success. Enroll online prior to your arrival. Contact your academic advisors and instructors so that you know what to expect. Consider a wide range of courses. Also bring your transcript and home university academic advisors' contact information with you. View the UCAP web pages, and also attend the Bio and Golden Bear orientations. The most important thing is to not be shy or be concerned that you're bothering anyone. The UC community and Californians are known for their warm welcome, and do not hesitate to ask for help. If you still have any questions, don't worry, ask Amandeep.
Thank you, Adrian, and that's a wonderful segue. Hello, everyone again. So I am with the Berkeley Summer Sessions Study Abroad, Lifelong Learning, and Extended Education Office. So that is our long title, just giving it to you for reference so that you know a little bit about what our department represents. At Berkeley, in addition to your academic advisors in your department and college and the advisors in the Berkeley International Office, you also have a UCEAP reciprocity advisor, and that's me. So if you have questions or concerns prior to arrival, while you are here and after your program and you are not sure who to contact, please feel free to contact me. I'm kind of your one-stop shop for any questions you have, and I can help make the appropriate referrals where needed. So just know I might not have the direct answer to be able to help you, but I will make sure that you get connected to the right person to get support. The best way to reach me is going to be through email, and the email that's listed is the best email to contact me at. So visiting-international, which is INTL at berkeley.edu. This will then allow me to be able to easily forward any type of request that you have to the appropriate department that can help you. Please know that I'm also available and happy to meet with you by appointment if you prefer to talk through Zoom and or in person, and you can schedule an appointment with me using the link that's in this slide. Amy, just a quick question. Are we going to be sending out the slide deck to students?
Yes, we are.
Okay, awesome. So you will have the direct links to this information as well. So yeah, next slide. Okay, so Adrian kind of talked a little bit about systems. So now we're going to go a little bit more in depth and discuss what some of these systems look like. So the first one being your campus email. So we refer to it as BMail, kind of also might be known as Gmail, but we call it BMail because it's your Berkeley email. So this is one of your first UC Berkeley accounts that you will receive access to. So the BMail is the main way the university communicates with you. Faculty, staff, and departments, including the Berkeley International Office and Extension Study Abroad, will usually contact you through your BMail first. If you haven't already, make sure your BMail account is set up, and please remember to check it regularly along with your personal and home university email accounts so you don't miss any important updates or deadlines. The next important account that you have access to, or the second system, is going to be your CalCentral account. This is the account you use to access your NIF and obtain your DS 2019. Your CalCentral account is also where you'll find any tasks you need to complete both before you arrive to UC Berkeley and after you arrived, so during your stay. Through CalCentral, you can access your academic information and use some enrollment tools such as adding or dropping courses. You'll also find information about fees owed to UC Berkeley, including your health insurance fee, document fees, or any late fees. The great thing is that you can pay all of these fees directly through CalCentral, making it your one-stop hub for managing many aspects of your student experience. Okay, moving on to health and immunizations. So you are required by J-1 visa regulations to have health insurance while you are here at UC Berkeley and within the United States. So as a UC Berkeley student, you are automatically going to be enrolled into the Student Health Insurance Plan, also known as SHIP. SHIP coverage for the spring semester begins on January 1st. If you are going to be arriving into the US earlier than January 1st, you will be required to have health insurance that meets the J-1 requirements for the period of time that you're here prior to the start of your SHIP coverage. For those of you who are considering waiving out of SHIP using your insurance from your home country, please be advised that most international health insurance plans do not meet SHIP waiver requirements. So please plan ahead to be enrolled in SHIP. The formal deadline to submit immunization and TB clearance records to the Tang Center, or the University Health Center as we call it, is going to be December 31st of this year. Please review the immunization website to ensure you have the necessary requirements to complete this on time. Otherwise, you will incur a late fee of $50. We acknowledge that some of you might not have, or some of these immunizations may not be available in your home country. If that is the case, please be prepared to get these immunizations once you do arrive to the United States. Awesome. So I know some of the information I'm seeing on this slide might be a little bit unclear, so I will read through it so you can understand what's there, and we will send the slide deck for you. But as you prepare to travel through the US, just make sure to keep in mind that there are laws as to what you can and cannot bring into the United States. We will discuss like what you can pack, so and go over some of that other important information in the next slide. So here we are. So packing for your trip. You do want to make sure that you check the U.S. Customs and Borders Protection website for information on what you can actually bring when you come to the United States. Make sure to check in advance what your airline has in terms of the weight and maximum dimensions allowed for the baggage that you are bringing. And of course, as you're packing, make sure to consider Berkeley's weather. Our weather does tend to fluctuate a lot. If you're coming for the spring semester, it's going to be pretty cold in the beginning, but get closer to the end of spring, it will start to warm up a little bit. Okay, so in addition to that, food items. Once again, please make sure to check cbp.gov for any help with understanding what you can and can't bring. Food items in particular, if you fail to declare it, it will result in fines. So please keep that in mind. Any prescriptions that you're bringing, make sure that it's all in original containers. And you can bring it up for up to 30 days. Also, make sure you bring any plug adapters and converters that you might need for any technology that you are bringing with you. And of course, do not bring things that you can easily find within the US. And if this is something you're not really sure about, you're most welcome to contact us and we can take a look and see what you're considering to bring and help you further analyze whether that's needed or not. Okay, travel documents. So you will also want to make sure, actually, Amy, this is you?
That is me.
Okay, that was a
So
quick
I was
test.
going to say, if you
I'm
want
going to go back to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Amandit. All right, so let's go over travel documents for your entry into the United States. So when you arrive into the United States, you are expected to have the following travel documents ready on hand with you. And that is a valid passport, a valid J1 visa, your DS 2019 form issued by UC Berkeley, your CVS fee receipt, and your financial documentations as well. You will need to show these documents to the Customs and Border Protection officers at the airport or port of entry. Please make sure that you have these items with you in your carry-on bag, not in your checked luggage or anywhere where you can't easily access them. You need to present these documents to the Customs and Border Protection officers during your inspection, so please keep them organized and accessible. All right, let's dive in a little bit deeper into each of these documents. So in terms of the passport, as you plan ahead, know that your passport needs to be valid at least 6 months into the future at all times. If your passport will fall within this time frame while you're at UC Berkeley, I would highly recommend that you get it renewed prior to your arrival here. Since this is an important identification document, I would also recommend that you make a copy of your passport and your visa page to carry around with you while you're here at UC Berkeley instead of carrying the original. Of course, if you're traveling outside of Berkeley where you are not able to get access to these documents immediately, such as if you want to take a weekend trip to Los Angeles as an example, then I would say to carry the original with you. Otherwise, if it's within Berkeley itself, carrying a copy of your passport and visa page is sufficient while you're here at Berkeley. Keep the original passport in a safe place that you can easily remember and locate in the event of an emergency. Next, you also need to obtain a J1 visa for your entry into the United States. Once you have been issued the visa by the US Embassy or Consulate, please check your visa for accuracy. Make sure that you have been issued a J1 visa and not any type of other visa categories. Also check the expiration date of your visa. In most cases, for J1 students, the J1 visa will have an expiration date that matches your DS 2019 program end date. Also check the entry category. It will tell you the number of entries allowed into the United States based on this visa. Almost everyone gets an M, and M stands for multiple entry. If it's not an M, if it's only a single entry, that means that you can only use this visa for entry one time into the United States. The latest announcement from the Department of State specifies that applicants for US non-immigrant visas should schedule their interview appointments at the US Embassy or Consulate in their country of nationality or residence. So please make sure that you're aware of this. And what that means is if you are a citizen of Malaysia as an example, but you're studying in the UK, you can go to the London embassy to apply for your visa, but you will not be able to go to the French embassy to apply for your visa because you are not a resident in France. All right, next up is the DS 2019. So most of you should have completed your non-immigrant information form, also known as the NIF task on your Cal Central. If you haven't done that yet, you should do that as soon as possible. You need to complete the non-immigrant information form in order to obtain your DS 2019. Once you've obtained your DS 2019, please make sure that you're reviewing it again for accuracy. Check your name, check the dates there, make sure that it's properly endorsed as well. In terms of the dates, keep in mind that the earliest possible entry date is no more than 30 days prior to the program start date listed on your DS 2019. So for spring 2026, the program start date that will be listed on your DS 2019 is January 13. And what that means is that the earliest possible entry for spring 2026 is going to be December 14, 2025. You cannot enter the United States with this DS 2019 and the J1 visa before December 14, 2025. Please also take note of the departure date or the end date listed on your DS 2019. You must depart the United States within 30 days of the program end date listed on your DS 2019. Once you've obtained the DS 2019, you will see the CV's ID number on the top right-hand corner of your DS 2019. With the CV's number, you need to pay for the CV's fee. You can pay the CV's fee online at www.fmjfee.com, and that fee is $220. Once you've made that payment, you need to have that receipt with you printed, and you need to bring that for your visa interview. All right, so now let's discuss your arrival into the United States. I would like to start off by saying that Berkeley International Office welcomes you to UC Berkeley. We truly value your presence on our campus and are excited that you're here to be part of our international community. It's important to remember that US immigration policy can be unpredictable and subject to rapid change, so staying informed is essential. At this time, international travel may also carry a little bit higher risk due to the increased vetting and stricter screening process as you come in through the United States. To help you stay prepared, Bio strongly recommends that you review a few key resources ahead of time, and that includes our immigration policy changes FAQ page, our immigration policy update page, know your rights, urgent response guidance, travel information, and maintaining your status page. Each of these pages will help you better understand your rights, your responsibilities, and how to navigate potential changes in immigration policy. Finally, please note that we have a bio emergency contact form available should you run into a very serious or an urgent situation. And that is defined as if you are subject to deportation or you have been detained, arrested, or any unexpected encounter with law enforcement or any issues that occur at the US port of entry. We want you to know that Bio is here to support you, to provide guidance, and to help you feel safe during your time here at UC Berkeley. So once you've passed through Customs and Border, once you've entered the United States, you will be expected to go through US Customs and Immigration. And that's typically walking up to a counter, speaking to an immigration officer, and they will ask you questions about what your purpose of visit to the United States is. And you can answer that you are here on a study abroad exchange at UC Berkeley. You need to show them your documents that we've just gone over. So your passport, your visa, your DS 2019, CV's fee receipt, admission letter, proof of funding. Do not, again, as a reminder, do not put these documents in your checked luggage where you do not have access to them because you have to show this to that immigration officer. If all goes well, this process should only take 2 to 5 minutes. Once you've passed the immigration officers, you can go ahead and collect your luggage, and then you are on your way to UC Berkeley. So let me provide you with a few options as to how you can get to UC Berkeley. The first and the most common option for students is to take the BART, which is a train system that we have within the Bay Area to UC Berkeley. For most of you who are arriving from international locations, obviously the larger and the main airport that we have is San Francisco International Airport. and there is a train that takes you straight from San Francisco International Airport to downtown Berkeley, which is the stop that you'll get off at. We also have another international airport, which is called Oakland International Airport. And if you're arriving through Oakland, there's also a train that goes from Oakland to downtown Berkeley. So if this is what you want to do, make sure that you research that ahead of time to ensure that you are well aware of the train systems. Other options available to you if you don't want to take a public transportation is through ride apps such as Uber or Lyft. And this is also very widely available at any of these airports. So if you want to take an Uber or a Lyft, please make sure that you're downloading these apps ahead of time on the phone. There is free Wi-Fi available at the airport where you can use that to request for a ride to your location. If you don't want to use a Uber or Lyft, there's also a shuttle service available, and there's also taxis or rental cars available. I would say if you're getting a rental car, make sure that you have a license that meets the international driver's license criteria. Next, so international students are expected to attend orientation to comply with the J1 regulations. Berkeley International Office will host a specific international student orientation, and that's happening on Thursday, January 15, 2026 at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This orientation is virtual over Zoom, and we will go over immigration policies, we'll go over enrollment, we'll go over employment authorization if that's what you want to do. So please go ahead and register so that you can see the schedule for the orientation as well. Again, attendance is mandatory in order for you to comply with your J1 regulations. The second part of the orientation programming that we have is a social welcome day, and that's happening on Friday, January 23rd, 2026, happening from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. So this is already once school has started, the classes are in session, so you're already expected to be here on campus. If you're around and available, please go ahead and join us for the social welcome day. Golden Bear orientation, which is the orientation provided by UC Berkeley, has two sections to that. So the first section is the Golden Bear Prep Online and the Bear Pact SVSH. And so that is an online module happening from December 9 to January 11. And this online program provides an overview of UC Berkeley and your transition to campus. Golden Bear orientation also provides a separate in-person orientation, and that is an optional orientation for students to attend. If you want to attend the Golden Bear orientation, EAP students must actively opt in to participate. And if you opt in to participate, just know that there is a $200 fee. The Golden Bear orientation that is in person helps new students to connect with peers and explore campus through various welcome activities and meals. And Bio will also host a Q&A section with staff and a social event for EAP students as well. This orientation is not mandatory, but attendance is highly encouraged. So just know that if you want to participate, you have to actively opt in, and there is going to be a fee associated with that as well. For more information, you can visit GBO's website for more details. Once you have successfully arrived here into the United States, you have settled down, keep in mind that you have to complete your arrival confirmation and US address update. This is for us to activate your J1 record. And so the steps that you need to take is to update your local address and US phone number on Cal Central. You also need to upload your I-94 arrival record to our website so that we can review to ensure that you entered on the J1 visa within 30 days of your program start date. And once we have that information, then we can go ahead and activate your J1 record. If you have any issues with accessing your I-94 and you can't find it online, or it's showing that you can't generate, please visit Berkeley International Office for assistance, and one of the advisors will be more than happy to assist with trying to obtain I-94 for you. If you're planning to travel while you're here at UC Berkeley, you will need a travel signature if you plan to depart the United States and re-enter. So for an example, during spring break, if you want to visit Mexico or if you want to visit Canada, you will need a travel signature on your DS 2019 on the right-hand corner right here for re-entry into the United States. You should get a travel signature from Berkeley International Office before your departure from the United States, because you need that for re-entry. While your number one priority here at UC Berkeley is, of course, your studies, one of the best ways to make the most of your time here is by building connections with other students. The Berkeley International Office offers numerous programs and workshops designed to help you find your community and feel at home here on campus. So for an example, you can take part in social mixers at the start of each semester, join the peer mentor program to connect with more experienced students, or participate in the global pen pal to meet other students from around the world. These programs are a great way to make friends, share experience, and enrich your time here at Berkeley. Amandeep, do you have any other social programs available for EAP students that they can participate in?
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes throughout the semester as you're getting to understand a lot of the campus involvement opportunities. So another great way to make connections is to join us at different events that we'll be putting on for visiting students. And that's something that we will send emails to you all throughout the semester with different invitations for different events that are happening. So once again, another great reminder to check your Bmail because most of those events will be sent to you through your Bmail account. Also, in addition to events that we will be hosting and sending you all information about, campus involvement opportunities extend to a wide variety of different categories. So we do encourage you to take a look at a lot of the different student organizations that are on campus, and you can check that through the Student Life website for UC Berkeley. We have over 1,200 student groups through Berkeley, and I mean those different clubs and organizations range from different artistic types of groups to cultural groups and things like that. So there's a lot of different unique opportunities to get involved. You can also visit the lead.berkeley.edu website for different leadership types of opportunities that are available. And there is always tabling happening around campus, and students are tabling for their different clubs and organizations. So feel free to stop by and visit those students to learn a little bit more about the different ways that you can get involved on campus. Additionally, Amy, I think you kind of mentioned this, but BIO, or the Berkeley International Office, also has different leadership opportunities. So if you are interested in that, maybe connect with Amy and the BIO office to learn about the different ways that you might be able to volunteer and maybe even support other students that are visiting Berkeley. So there's also the community engagement or public service center on campus. And so if you're looking for different ways to get involved in Berkeley community beyond just the university campus, there are ways for you to be able to give back to our community as well. So feel free to take a look at our public service center website for more information on that. And then, of course, if you are interested in having a job, whether that's on campus or off campus, please keep in mind that you will need to talk to the BIO office about this before you're able to start any type of work. And you can also check their website to see what the criteria looks like. But as always, if you don't know the answer, highly recommend that you talk to an international student advisor and or connect with me so that I can refer you to the appropriate department to get the right answer.
Thanks, Amandeep. All right, it's 9:45 here, and we want to be conscious of time and to leave time for questions from the audience as well. I wanted to introduce Lily. Lily, wave your hand. Here, that's Lily. All right, so Lily is an international student here at UC Berkeley. She's a degree-seeking student in the Masters of Journalism, but she has also participated in UCEAP in the past through UC Irvine. She is from France. So I have Lily here to possibly, if you have questions about adjustment to campus or her past UCEAP experience, she's more than happy to assist you as well. But if you also have questions about enrollment, myself or Adrian can try to assist you with your enrollment questions. So you can put your questions into the chat box, and I'm more than happy to read that out, and we can try to assist you. All right, Lily, you need help with unmuting. Let's see. All right, Lily, I made you a co-host, so if you need to unmute, you should have access to that now.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, it's great to meet y'all. Amy introduced me, but yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'm really happy to answer, and I'm seeing some right now. I'm happy to answer those as well, but Amy, maybe you have some other opinions on this.
Yeah.
As far as, is it much more expensive to live without a roommate? Generally, yes. It depends where you want to live on campus. There's on-campus housing options, there's off-campus housing options. Both are generally pretty expensive. It'll generally be more expensive to have your own studio. An affordable option that a lot of people like to go for, as far as UCAP students or international students, is the Berkeley Student Cooperative. That is the most affordable housing option on campus. It's a nonprofit organization, and it offers basically like community living in like a house with other people. And the rent is way lower than other areas in Berkeley. The website, I mean, it's just called the Berkeley Student Cooperative, so I would encourage you guys to go check that out. It's a slightly different form of living. It's going to be on campus, but some of them are really close to campus. And you typically would live with a bunch of other people. It ranges from like 20 to 60 or 80 people in one house. And you would typically have a roommate. That's where I live right now. So if anyone has questions as to how that is, I'm happy to answer that too. And yeah, I hope that kind of answers also the second question, that is it more expensive to live on or off campus? I know that finding off-campus housing as an international student, as far as like Craigslist and stuff like that, is really hard. Because you don't know how these work. You can't really visit the apartments. There's a lot of scams. I know people who, signed up for apartments that didn't exist. So it's definitely something to look for if you're looking for something that's more affordable slightly than on-campus housing, because you can find something that's slightly cheaper. But it is hard, and there's not a ton of offers. So I would advise for caution with that.
But I want to say that even though on-campus housing may be more expensive in terms of, when you look at the bill, right? But on-campus housing also includes dining, right? So if you want to have a meal plan associated with that, that's already inbuilt. Versus if you live off campus, that's just for your rent and utilities. Then you have to factor in additional costs for your dining as well. So those are some things to keep in mind.
Definitely. As far as the student co-ops, and they're not paying me to say this, so I'm not trying to promote them. But they do include rent, food in your rent. And that like what you pay a month goes towards food that's purchased by the house, for like communal dinner. And then how it works is everyone has to contribute for the house a little bit. And I mean, they have a ton of information on their website, but yes. So the prices start at, I believe, $1,000 a month, and that includes food, rent, and utilities.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I know.
All right. Question here. So is there a general deadline to find housing? So there's no general deadline to find housing, but obviously you want to have housing secured by the time that you arrive here, right? Otherwise, by the time you arrive here, if you don't have housing secured, then you have to either put yourself up in a hotel or an Airbnb for a day or two until you can secure housing and then move into that. So that's just going to be an additional adjustment piece if you don't have an housing secured ahead of time. And then the last question, when should you arrive to campus? Again, no earlier than 30 days before the program start date listed on your DS 2019. Okay. Is there a way where we can contact other transfer students for housing purposes? So Lily, when you first came here as an international student, did you try contacting other students and as to how you can find roommates, or how did you decide, I guess, to go into a co-op housing?
I think I attended a bio webinar about housing.
Okay.
And I had no idea about that option for the longest time, and I was really struggling to find something that was more affordable or that had more just open spots. So yeah, it was really hard to find like a viable option. I was applying to a lot of things that were kind of out of my price range. I don't know if Bio is planning on having a housing seminar or a webinar soon, but a good place to ask generally if you're trying to talk to people and ask about their experience would be Reddit, because a lot of people in Berkeley use Reddit. So yeah, please feel free to ask questions. People generally are gonna be answering your questions. But I don't think I had gotten in touch with people before I moved to Berkeley. Not that it's impossible though. You can always go on, I want to say social media is probably the best guess to find like bio, UC Berkeley has a bunch of social media accounts where you could reach out or try to find people to talk to, or just, just send messages out on Reddit or any other platform that you feel comfortable with. There's tons of people who are, in the same situation as you and that are looking for friends. It might be hard to get ahead, but once you're there, it'll be a lot easier to just make contact with people.
Okay. One thing I want to show as well, I looked up our Finding Housing website, and we do have tools for someone who is looking for a roommate or housing to share. So you can use those resources that's available on our website as well. Thank you, Lily. All right, so let's move on to enrollment. Question, when will we get the courses that will be dictated on Spring? Can I take courses from another faculty different of mine? Okay, Adrian, maybe you can address this, because this is a common question that we have from EAP students where they don't get access to enrollment into courses as early as they hope to. And by the time maybe they get into it, they are on a wait list, or it's not available, or it's not the class that they hope to be in. What tips do you have about course enrollments?
Yeah, of course, we always tell students to be flexible with their course schedule. So maybe at your home university, you're used to being automatically enrolled like in 4 courses in your major, but at UC, you have to be a little bit more flexible. You have to look at the courses that are offered and see if there's spaces in the courses. It's common for UC students to enroll in maybe a couple courses in their major and then enroll in other courses in different majors. That's very common, and it's actually a good thing because you can take courses that, might not be offered at your home university that you can take at UC Berkeley. So maybe, say for example, you're a poli-sci major, you could enroll in a couple courses in poli-sci, and then if you have an interest in like in international studies or sociology, you can take some courses in those majors as well if there's space. So if the course is full, just be sure to add your name to like the wait list. And usually during that first week of classes, students will crash the course. So that's just like saying you're going to show up at the first lecture and see if there's space in the course. So the instructor or professor will let you know if there's space in the course and if they're going to add more seats, to hopefully let you into the course. So if you're on the wait list, definitely just keep your name on it and show up for that first course instruction to see if the professor will actually add you to the course. And also, I would recommend to contact your undergraduate advisor. So whatever your major is, look up the undergraduate advisor and email them, introduce yourself as a reciprocity student, and just see which recommendations they have for courses that are open and if you have a chance to actually enroll in those courses. So that's what I would recommend.
That's a good segue, Adrian. Thanks for reminding about the undergrad course advisor. So if you don't know who your college advisor is, you can always email our office or email me, and I can tell you who your undergrad advisor is and get you connected with them, and they can assist you with your enrollment questions if you have. All right. Next question about student ID number. So when will it approximately become available? Okay, Adrian, this is also a question for you. So once students have been admitted and have been assigned to campus, I know that you guys would send a admission list to us so that campus puts them into the system, right? But do you know how long it takes for a person to get information or communication about setting up their accounts?
Yeah, usually it takes maybe a week or two for us to process your information, like after you're placed. So, if you haven't received your student ID yet, you should probably email the UCEAP office. So you could email UCEAP Reciprocity and ask us about your student ID. So I'm not sure the exact date that all students will have their ID number. So it's just good to contact us. I think most of you should have your student ID number, but if not, you could email us and we'll get back to you.
Next question. So do we have any advice on how to manage our social media profile for visa checks? There is no particular content, but they're just anxious about it. So I would say, once you've gone for your visa interview, and if they are asking you to check your social media, then you have a choice on whether you want to say yes or no, right? If you say no, then most likely you're not going to get your visa. But I would say just review your social media. If it's not for anything political or if it's not anything sensitive, then go ahead and open that up for that period of time. Once you get your visa, you can lock it back again. And that's the only advice that I would have in regards to that. All right, next one. So my home university mandatory course overlaps with the start of classes. Is it a problem that I arrive a couple of days late? So Your J1 visa expects that you are arriving by the first day of classes. But I would say, yeah, a day or two late is fine. But if it's going to be a week or more, then that's when we're going to start to get concerned. Especially if you're going to start missing the first classes, right? Because a lot of students are still enrolling into classes during the first couple of weeks. And, if professors see that you're not attending classes, they may drop you from that class if you're missing the first couple of classes, so that they're opening up seats for anyone else who's on the wait list as well. So if you're not missing any classes, sure, that's fine. But make sure that you also give yourself time to move into housing, set up your bank account here, and things like that. So just budget that time for that. Can I take graduate level or master courses? Adrian, what is your take on
Yeah,
that?
so for graduate level courses, we say that you can enroll in maybe one course per term in graduate courses. So if you meet the prereqs and you have permission from the professor, then it's fine. But of course, your main focus should be on courses that are undergrad level, so 1 through 199. But if you want to take like one graduate course per semester, then that's completely fine. So you can go ahead and do that.
All right. All right. So could we quickly explain how does the enrollment process work and what actions are required on the student's part? So Adrian, do you know anything about this?
Oh yeah, so I was just gonna quickly say, like, yeah, if you check the schedule of classes and course catalog, if there's any like prerequisites for the course, it'll be listed there. So if you have any prerequisites for a course, be sure to fill out the prerequisite form, which is available on the UCEAP website. So just fill that out and send it to, the undergrad advisor, and then they'll, give you permission to enroll in that course. So you want to do that now before, your enrollment time actually starts. So that's some advice I'd have for you if you have any questions on actual course enrollment. So just view the course enrollment date. It's available on our website. So I think someone else mentioned it's on November 18th, so it starts on the 18th.
And then, of course, if you want to get connected with your college advisor here at UC Berkeley, I'm more than happy to get you connected with them. If you send us an email, I can refer you to them.
Yeah, that's good advice, to just connect with your advisor so that they know the most about which courses are being offered and which ones are full and which ones have space, so they could let you know.
All right. Next question, is opening a US bank account mandatory? Bottom line is no, it's not mandatory. But make sure that you have access, or it can get connected to Cal Central somehow in order to pay those fees, right? Because that's what's most important, is that if those fees can be wired over, you can easily access them, then that's fine. You don't necessarily have to open a US bank account here. But Lily, do you have any recommendations about this one? Any strong feelings about whether?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely recommend opening a US bank account, especially because there's a number of banks with whom you can open a bank account for free if you're a college student. So that's going to not cost you anything, either for opening or for keeping the bank account for like a number of years. And it'll also, depending on what your home bank is and like what your credit card or debit card like system works, is you can have like, for example, I used to have like, if I was trying to pay something in the US with my home bank account, there would be fees charged every time. And so that can quickly add up, and it feels like a much more sound like financial decision to kind of wire money to your new bank account once, maybe twice, or as much as you need. But the more money you can send in at once in your US bank account, and then not have to worry about paying those fees or those transfer delays or stuff like that. And it just makes your life easier, because yeah, I think it's definitely a good thing to do, and you can do it for free. Chase Bank does that. There's a bank that UC Berkeley is affiliated with, that's BMO, I believe, that also offers that for students. So, and then you can keep your account for like a certain time. So if you want to come back to the US, for example, you can already have a bank account that is working. So
good tips. And I was not thinking in terms of like other resources, right? Yes. So I mean, if you're hoping to not open a bank account just because you're thinking that you want to pay fees to UC Berkeley, maybe that's fine. But other things that you may want to keep in mind is, how are you going to pay rent? How are you going to pay utilities? If you have a US phone bill, if you have water bill or an internet bill that you have to pay, right? So are you going to be able to connect these accounts seamlessly? And the answer is, if it's not, then like Lily said, it's just easier to open a US bank account where you could put some money in there for a while and then access that and load it up as you need. All right, moving on. I'm trying to activate my UC Berkeley Health account, but even after selecting home country system, it still requires me to choose a US state. I contacted the support system, but it haven't reached out. So I'm not familiar with the issues that you're experiencing, Minso. But if you want, you can email our office so that we can take a deeper look into it and try to assist you further. But if not, I can also then refer you out to the Tank Center as needed. I'm not familiar with this one. So email our office for more assistance. All right. What do I need? Okay, so Emily's question, what do I need to have to enroll? Just a student ID number? Adrian, what does a person need in order to enroll in classes?
Yeah, maybe Lily could help too with this, but I think they just need the student ID and log into your Cal Central account so then you can see your actual enrollment time
Yes.
that you have to register.
Yes, yeah. So obviously you have to create your CalNet account, right? So that you can get access to Cal Central account, and through the Cal Central, that's when you have all of your enrollment classes that you can enroll yourself into.
Yeah, and yeah, just as I mentioned before, like if there's prereqs for the course, be sure to send that prereq form to the advisor beforehand.
Great. Okay, Federico's question. So during the application process, he indicated some courses that they would like to take and send proof of those prerequisites. Now it's not certain that I'm enrolled in those courses, right? Yeah, so enrollment in courses is not guaranteed unless you are enrolled in that course, right? So if you are waitlisted in a course, that doesn't mean that you're enrolled. So what I would mention as an advice is enroll into more courses than you think that you need, right? And waitlist yourself in the courses that you would like to take. So that if you get off the waitlist in the course that you would like to take, then you can drop something that you don't want to take anymore that was part of your enrollment bucket, right? But otherwise, if you set yourself up short, at the end of the day, once the enrollment deadline comes and you're no longer able to enroll, then you're going to find yourself in a very difficult position because your J1 visa requires you to be enrolled full-time. And full-time is defined as at least 12 units, or certain colleges have a 13-unit requirement for full-time. So I would say it's easier to enroll in more first and then put yourself into waitlist classes for those classes that you think that you may need. And then once you get off the waitlist, then you can start dropping things that you don't need so that you don't find yourself in a difficult position.
Yeah, and really quickly, yeah, some students get confused about the UCEAP application and the actual registration time when you register for courses at UC Berkeley. So the UCEAP application, you're sending your prereqs, but that's just for us to view to place you at your UC campus, but you're not actually enrolled yet. So just view the enrollment time for Berkeley, and that's when you actually register for courses, and you have to send the prereq form to the advisors. So you can do that now, but you're not enrolled in those courses yet.
Next question. Can I get an internship as an EAP student? Okay, so as an EAP student, you're going to be here on a J1 visa. In your first semester here, you're not going to be able to work off campus. You can only work off campus after you have completed your first semester. And so what that means is if you're only here at UC Berkeley for one semester, then you have to complete that semester first before you're going to be eligible for work authorization to work off campus. Or if you're here for 2 semesters, then you have to complete your first semester first before you can apply for the work authorization for your second semester. You have to have work authorization before you can actually begin employment. So I would say if that is your plan, please speak to a Berkeley International Office advisor so that we can help you with timelines and logistics surrounding that. Thank you, Sam, for responding about enrollment. We're at the end of our chat there. It's 10:05 as well. We're over time. But thank you so much, everyone, for participating in today's pre-arrival webinar for EAP students. Again, if you have further questions, feel free to reach out to Adrian or to Amandeep or myself or anyone at Berkeley International Office, Extension, or EAP. And we are more than happy to assist you and support you accordingly. As a reminder, again, this webinar is being recorded. And so once we're done with this, we will send you a copy of this recording as well as the slides for you to access those links. we will see you at orientation on Zoom on Thursday, January 15, in the afternoon. But again, otherwise, if you have further questions for us, feel free to contact us accordingly. All right. Thanks, everyone.